What's going on, everybody? How you doing? My name is Ron Tucker. Uh, Welcome to my show. Let's call it Ron's Talking. I've been away for a few days, kind of took it easy a little bit, but I'm back in the fold. So let's get it on again. Well, we all know that uh, Trump won the election. I don't feel like it was fair and square, but you know, this is my opinion, no one else's. But the way I see it, just too many things don't add up. Ever since Elon Musk got involved, and when you put Trump, Musk, Speaker Johnson, who, along with Trump, on the campaign stage, uh, indicated that they had a secret about the election. What was that all about? Anybody? Somebody? Uh, I don't think the DOJ is going to investigate nothing because Merrick Garland has done such a slam bang job of uh, holding Trump accountable by slow rolling the whole process of being an attorney general and investigating Trump and taking him to task a long time ago, 2 years ago. He could have prevented all this from happening by doing his job from the standpoint of taking decisive action and making sure he prevented Trump from trying to do an end around and run for campaigning and wanted to become president again. When Trump knew if he said that and announced that, that was going to put the whole situation in a different light with the DOJ trying to bring him to task. It was going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to hold him accountable. And look what happened. Look what happened. And I've been a vocal critic about Merrick Garland for a long time. I think he's a admirable guy from a standpoint of integrity, character, uh, morals, all those intangibles that you want in a leader and in a person in office at our national level. But to me, he was put into a position that he wasn't really suited for. And I was going to say not qualified for. It'd be hard to say that he wouldn't meet the threshold of qualifications, but you could be qualified for something and still do a lousy job at it. Okay. I mean, that's just that simple. It's like a head coach of a football team who got elevated to another school, um, a, a larger, let's say it's a larger university. Somebody come from D2 to the Big Ten or the SEC and got a head coaching job at a huge university, but couldn't handle the pressure of the job, the magnitude of it. He wasn't as good a coach at that level as he was at the lower levels. So to me, Merrick Garland was always suited to be just what he was, a judge. He should have been sitting on the bench, rendering decisions and stuff like that, as a judge does. As an attorney general, a person that goes after criminals, he's suited for you to bring the criminals to him, like a judge, not for him to pursue criminals. There was about three candidates to me that would have been a better pick to be attorney general. And one of them was snatched up as a VP, which was Kamala Harris. Second one would have been Letitia James of New York. I think she would have been the perfect fit. And there's one more that might have been just as effective as Letitia, if not better. We'll never know now. That would have been the guy who's currently the special counsel, Jack Smith. Those three people, they would have been on Trump like white on rice. You know, hey, he wouldn't have caught a break, and they would have been moving on him instead of plodding along like Merrick Garland did, um, being mindful and aware of all the Department of Justice antiquated policies about dealing with presidents, sitting presidents, former presidents, all the stuff about the presidency. To me, the law's the law, crook's a crook. And if you're going to equivocate between living up to the tenets of the law and, uh, you know, administering justice to all, as politicians so apt to say, no one's above the law and all that kind of stuff. Trump crashed and crushed all that a long time ago, folks. Y'all know it. We've all been through it. We've all seen it since 2016. The law does not apply to him equally, if at all. And it's totally apparent. And anybody who says they don't see it that way, they're either one, a Trump supporter, number two, blind as hell, or number three, they just don't give a damn. Okay? So here we are. America, here's to you for voting in a convict to run the United States, and we've dropped that far. So now anybody can run for president. And I guess in a sense anybody could, but now the criminals have free access to it. And true to form, Trump is trying to slide and bring his cabal into the White House and his administration, and bringing in the sleaze bags and the loyalists that he's looking for to carry out all his bidding. This is where we're coming to. This is where we're at. It's just a shame, and we're gonna be a captive audience, of course. So now that all the shock is just about worn down from the election. I still think that there's some improprieties. I just believe that Elon Musk, he's shady. The man, to me, is devious, diabolical, and there's something wrong with that election. I mean, I'd be sorry about it regardless if Elon Musk wasn't in it and Trump won. But with Musk involved, there's something shady going on with how those numbers turned out for Trump. And I'm going back to the point where when Trump said things about, you guys don't have to vote anymore after this election, or I've got all the votes I need. There's no need to even vote. Things of that nature, and it just makes you wonder, what was that all about? I mean, got him. Some people, it ain't gonna bother them. His supporters, of course, and also the ill-informed, misinformed individuals who also voted for him, like Latinos, the 20% of black men that voted for him. Um, I guess Puerto Ricans, if they voted for him, um, the suburban women that a lot of people on the left were counting on to stand up for abortion rights and stuff like that. I don't know how they did it. And I can't say for 100% I know they did it. But I think they did. People have been talking about it. I don't know if it's going to generate enough interest for the feds to look into it. I don't see why they wouldn't. Hell, they look into everything else that's inconsequential. But I think they have resigned themselves, or they don't want to raise up another ruckus to have the MAGA people and all other Trump supporters to start claiming that, you're just trying to find something again to dig up on Trump, and they won't do nothing but brand it as a hoax and raise a big ruckus. And that's why I don't think the DOJ has the appetite to even investigate something like that. But I believe it'd be well worth the while. I'd be curious to find out. But you know what? The way I am right now, mentally, if it's over, it's over. And for all intents and practical purposes, it's over. But it's going to be real interesting to see what I feel is going to be a shit show with this administration moving forward. My thoughts and my outlook on this new administration coming, it's going to pretty much be the same as the one in 2016 with different variations. Probably most people would probably think that it's going to be worse. How worse? We don't know. Don't know what else he plans on doing, but you can best and rest assured it's going to be a lot of non-work involved if he's involved in it. And what I mean by that is in 2016 through 2019, Trump really didn't do nothing but two things that you can count on. He's going to rally and he's going to golf. In between that, he's going to slide in some grievances and going after people that said something negative about him because he's so thin-skinned and petty. You know that's coming. All those things are going to converge to where it's going to slow down governing this country properly, just like he did the first time he was in office, because he's going to get distracted because he's vindictive. And he ain't going to try to, well, first of all, he ain't going to focus too much on the affairs of the government because he has very little knowledge about it. He's not curious about anything other than serving his own interests. And y'all gonna find out. All you people that voted for him and thought that he was the best choice over a lady that was just so overwhelmingly qualified than he ever could imagine to be. But like I said, a lot of finger pointing going on. All the autopsy reports have been filed, and people who had these postmortem opinion debates, and everybody's looking at each other with some of them may be valid reasons or whatever to why it didn't go Kamala's way. But to me, the root of the whole scenario and the whole question of why she lost, to me, lies with a couple of simple reasons. Is racism is involved as well as wholesale misogyny. Racism always is going to be involved in the dealings and inner works and our communications and our interactions with each other in America. Folks, this is 2024. It could be just as well 1764. It don't matter what the time frame is, other than I'm not crazy to say that we haven't made advances as a minority. That's obvious. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, we haven't made any kind of progress over the years, over the centuries. Sure we have. But in increments that, really, it may have moved the needle to a quarter from the top, and you got about 3/4 more to go, where it's a level playing field. And it probably will never be a level playing field depending on which side of the coin that you own. There are individuals right now that are trying to destroy our democracy. Probably throw Trump in that category. There are people who are hatred-filled individuals that don't like minorities. And it's not just blacks, but anybody who doesn't look like them, talk like them, from the same background they are. In other words, if you're not a Caucasian, as they call it, Anglo-Saxon, if you're not white, you're going to have problems, and especially with this new administration coming. Make no mistake about it. Now, my thing about the misogyny, America, the majority of white America, especially men, and a lot of women too. They don't want to see a woman as president because they can't envision it. And you got women. To me, that's what kind of floors me, is how many women just can't stand to see another woman achieve the top of the ladder. They can't see another woman become a president because they're so ingrained in either a biblical stance about women should be subservient to their men, or they've always felt like, a man is the only one that can do the job of being president and commander in chief of this country. And if you think I'm lying, just check out some of the comments and some of the videos in the last couple months of people's opinions about that aspect of what I'm saying. I saw that those black people on that interview with Alex Wagner from MSNBC, when the black lady said that she wanted a president that was more manly, and that, oh, I ain't got nothing. I guess nothing about the fact that she's a woman. I ain't got nothing against that. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is I don't think she can handle Putin. She can't stand up to Putin. You ever thought about giving her a shot, sister? Then this other black lady, I don't know where the hell she was going with her comment and thought process. She started talking about how men respect women and respect their mothers and their girlfriends and all this kind of stuff. Now I'm trying to figure out what the hell that got to do with the question that was posed to you by Alex Wagner about why you think Kamala's not qualified. And she felt like Kamala didn't have the education and the experience and all that stuff. And I said to myself, bitch, so you think Trump has experience? Yeah, he got experience being president because he's been the president once before, and it was an unmitigated disaster. And if he was such a great leader, and he's done so much for everybody that people claim they feel he has done for America and minorities and everybody else in this country, why in the hell did he get booted in 2020? Somebody tell me that. Why? What happened? I'll wait. Anybody? That's what I thought. Nothing. That was so idiotic and insane to me. But that was some of the feelings of some of our people and women in general. And they weren't the only ones. Latino family stayed on camera that one guy said, "Oh, I like the fact that he speaks his mind. He tells it like it is, and he's brash." Okay, and those are the qualifications you need to be president, I guess. And then the mother, I think she said something about, oh, she got undocumented family members, but Trump he's trying to get rid of the rapists and the murderers and the people who came over here illegally. But yet she told the interviewer that she admitted that her and her now husband came over here illegally themselves when they were just girlfriend and boyfriend. So you did something criminal by legal standards, but you don't want those other people to come over that are your people, because they want to enjoy the same things you're enjoying, but you want to keep them out now because you got over here and you'd have made it, and you live in the suburbs now. you, I guess you forgot that at one time you were them. How soon we forget. No, 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 no. We don't need no more immigrants over here because we ain't got enough room for them no more. Cause I'm over here with my family. We living good. So y'all just stay over there across the border and suffer like we were when I was a teenager. People, we are something else, aren't we? Mm-hmm. And those are the same people that's going to be worried and frightened when their undocumented family members get rounded up by ICE. See, ain't nobody worried about their ass when their ass is already covered. They ain't worried about their brethren and their family and friends because we made it. So ain't no more room on the boat for y'all. And there's a white man who I think I may have mentioned this in one of my previous videos. This Chinese restaurateur had dinner with him, and think he was I think he was wealthy. I don't know. I believe so. But they were having a conversation, and the Chinese restaurateur wanted to know why was he so adamant about um, getting rid of minorities and deporting people and everything. And the white guy said, matter of factly, while he was uh, eating on a steak, he just looked at him and said, "Hey, uh, I didn't vote for Trump because I like the way he conducts himself and all that. I voted for him because he represents what we're trying to do as white people. We're just trying to protect our species. You know, that's it. I don't, y'all, it's too many of y'all over here. So we're trying to get rid of you." And then the guy said, "Oh, so you're telling me that you don't want me to be here anymore? You want to get rid of me too?" He kind of like, pretty much, yeah. Just the bottom line. That's a lot of white men's positions about minorities and immigrants. See, y'all are all right. And oh, by the way, the Chinese restaurateur, he kind of made a comment to the white guy because the white guy kept bringing up the fact that we built this country and we uh, did all this for this country, and he said, "Wait a minute." He said, "How come you keep saying we built this country like y'all built the country solely by yourselves?" He said, "My Japanese ancestors, they were the ones who were driving those stakes into those rails and helping build the railroads and everything after the war. And you know, black people, they mostly built this country on their backs. So what's this about? We did it like you guys did it solely by yourselves." And the white guy just gave him a little flippant remark in response to it, like, "Eh, I ain't trying to hear that. We control things. We want to stay the majority. We ain't trying to be the minority in this country, and that's just the way it is. So now you understand what our position is and our stance." White males are really concerned and frightened and worried about the survival of their race because they're worried about becoming extinct. And the fear of that dictates most of their actions and their motivations to be in favor of deportations and keeping immigrants out, even though their families were immigrants and stuff. But that's where it's at in their minds. Too many of y'all. Well, think of this, white folks. If y'all hadn't been so lax on, I don't want to sound vulgar or nothing, but y'all wasn't humping enough, I guess, because those Mexicans and blacks and we in second place. Mexicans and leapfrogged over us. want to call them Hispanics, whatever you want to call them. They've been getting busy. So they come over here with 4 or 5. Brothers been slacking a little bit, but not like you white guys. If y'all been laying more pipe, things might be a little different right now. You wouldn't have to be so much in angst and anxiety stricken and stressed out and everything about it. Understand this though. That's, to me, that fear is your fear, but it's really unfounded. In fact, the reality is it'll take minorities 2 or 3 more generations to overtake you guys when it comes to wealth and generational wealth and all, because y'all have had this damn near 300-year head start on us. And we ain't gonna catch up in my lifetime, and neither will Hispanics. Most people trying to live this American dream that white males, the majority of them, not all of them, but the majority of white males do not want to share that wealth. And it's so ironic that y'all basically stole a country from the Native Americans. Y'all put their asses on reservations and gave them some casinos to just keep them occupied, keep them busy. You finally saw fit to let slaves go, okay? And, you got other groups that are over here now, Japanese, Irish, you named the race, they're over here. And people just want to live that same American dream that you guys are coveting, but you don't want to give it up because you're afraid of losing what you stole. See, it's hard to hold on to things that were gained through ill-gotten means. He said, that crown's sitting kind of lopsided right now in your head. You're worried about losing all that you stole. It leads to a lot of sleepless nights. But anyway, it's really sad to me that, we keep talking about make America great again. I'm sorry, that's what they be talking about. America's, this might be as great as it's going to get. Because it's going to get fucked up in a few weeks, a few months from now. Make America great again. And no one's really defined when America was ever great. This is always going to be a matter of opinion, and depends on which end of that economic spectrum that you fall on. Throughout history, and this is nothing new, most people who got half a brain cell understands this. America's been great for some, and been fucked up for others. And a lot of times, some people are getting by, some people doing better, some people doing great, some people doing worse. That's what this world is all about. Not just America, but that slogan, which all it is, these people in this country decided to take a slogan and weaponize it, so to speak, turn it into a battle cry. And it's nothing but a myth. It's something that would be worthy of consideration if we didn't have a con artist that's behind it, and a crook and a convicted felon. It's a very ambitious endeavor to seek and go after to make America great. Not a great again, because again, I ain't never seen it or heard that it was so great. Great when? Name the centuries, name the years, and I can guarantee you in every one of those years, there was a lot of fucked up things going on in this country. And it still is to this day. All you gotta do is look at the news. Some people don't like the news because the news has news on it. And I know there's a lot of information on the news that really ain't worth people's time. And you can get depressed reading stuff that's just bad and wrong and wicked and volatile and evil. sprinkled in with a few little bits of goodness and kindness on people's parts, but you also find a lot of times the truth. And depending on the information sources that you get and where they're coming from, uh, you're going to find a very different degrees of things that shape this world. But let's keep it real. America is a country that's full of promise, but a lot of those promises have never been kept. We will be great when a number of things happen, or we'll be close to being great when a number of things happen, such as police brutality. You can't, I don't think you'll ever be able to eradicate that because we're dealing with human beings. And some human beings are predisposed to be vicious, mean, evil. And if it's a racist cop, there's going to be some casualty. You can count on that, and I'll stake my life to that. And I ain't got to be a prophet or clairvoyant or swami to predict none of that. That's a fact, Jack. As I sit here and speak, most likely some brother's getting cracked upside the dome, or some cop is planting evidence on some unsuspecting motorist. I saw some of that last night looking at a video of some old dirty cop, and he was just making people's lives miserable for almost, like, I don't know, 2 years. And they finally busted his ass, but he destroyed a lot of people's lives. And I'm one of those people that I'm African American, and I don't advocate for anybody, black or white, to be able to commit crimes and not be held accountable. That's just, to me, common sense. But of course, my problem is when you got cops that are dirty, that do things that are dirty, and then the first thing the Fraternal Order of Police does, and those police auxiliary leagues do, no matter what the cop does, they're never guilty of anything. I'm trying to still figure out why it takes 6 bullets to do what one can do. I'm trying to figure out, when a man is down and you beating on him and his body's moving and you're still telling him to stop resisting. Does that make sense? Or you hit the man or the woman, most likely it's a man, especially if it's a black person. You hit him in the neck with a billy club, or you make their body move with violence towards it, and you're talking about you were feeling threatened for your life. All these unjustifiable homicides, but are justified by police training, and all the time when somebody gets murdered, the police were just doing their jobs. Your job is to kill people and shoot unarmed people and beat the hell out of people when they're handcuffed. I guess one guy just read about today, they did a George Floyd on him, and the guy told him he couldn't breathe. The cop that had his knee on his neck, and they just told him to shut up, you're gonna be all right. And the guy died. So these 2 cops, I think, they were involved in. Oh, they got convicted of some kind of second-degree manslaughter, which means they only get about maybe 3 years is the max for that, and a $10,000 fine or something like that. And the man's dead. Come on, man. Those scales are always imbalanced, aren't they? Anyway, America will never be great until we start treating people equally. That's when we're going to be great. Is when we as a society can understand that when one or a bunch of other ones do well, all of us can do well. Because there's always going to be some people who are greedy and don't want to share none of that, don't want to share the wealth, want to always take advantage of things because the loopholes, they can, because they know how to get away with it. So America needs to ask itself, what does greatness really mean? What does it entail? When other people can't walk around this country without fear of being killed because of the color of their skin, that's when America can be closer to being great. But not right now. We're a long ways from it. And we got an individual who's going to be running this country again, who is aligned with all the things that makes America a horrible place to be at sometimes. This president-elect has never said to me, to my knowledge, somebody else can correct me if I'm wrong, I've never heard him say anything or speaking out about or against neo-Nazis, white supremacists, KKK, Proud Boys. He told them to stand by back in the day. Stand by for what? He's aligned himself with those groups because he knows they'll support him. And so if they support him, he supports them. It's a reciprocal thing, okay? It's just that simple. But us people who know that we're being subjected to inequality, being attacked, being abused, you think we're going to trust him? And right now, Haitians are leaving that town of Springfield in droves now because they know what's coming. And a lot of Latinos, y'all better gear yourselves up. See, y'all don't believe water's wet. You don't believe fat meat's greasy until you eat it. But it is. Get ready. Now, I'm going to switch and turn my attention back to my boy Trump and his appointees real briefly, because really it's not a lot that needs to be said about this abomination of people that he feels is going to be great for our country. See, that's the thing about Trump, folks. Most of y'all understand. Some of you refuse to. You don't want to. Trump has been, and always will be an embarrassment. He doesn't have any kind of sense of how to run this country. The first time, y'all didn't get it, huh? Y'all didn't get it. Y'all didn't. Some of y'all still feel like he's going to miraculously and suddenly just change his way of governing. I'm here to tell y'all, folks, it's not like you heard it here first, but you done heard it enough times that you should have figured it out before now. And man, right now, and 3 weeks ago, he was concerned over one thing and one thing only: saving his ass from the legal things that's facing him. Or I probably should say now, was facing him. Because he gets in, you know where he's going to start digging. First, Department of Justice. Getting rid of all those cases and trying to just do away with anything that's going to cause him some harm legally. That's the mandate. And that's why he ran for office. He didn't run for office to fulfill the duties of the presidency. He tried that shit already once before, folks. And you see how it ended for him then. See, America's like a battered woman. And Trump is just like the battering husband, the batterer. He did us a number the first time. And it's like a woman who's getting her ass beat, which is a country, teeth knocked out, eyes closed, all that. And she drops the charges, brings him back to the fold. Restraining order don't matter. He had a 4-year restraining order on him. Now that's been lifted. And he swears up and down he ain't gonna hit her again. He ain't gonna beat her again. This is just what he's telling the American people during his campaign. And guess who bought it? Hook, line, and sinker. He tried to kill your asses during COVID. But y'all don't hear me. Y'all act like y'all wasn't there. See, y'all don't remember much of 2020 other than it was hell, so you're trying to block it out of your mind. Well, he was the one in charge then. He's the one that told you he didn't have a clue. So just drink some bleach and put your fingers together. And hopefully things will work out. That's all he had to give you. He had no answers because he was petrified and scared. And he was a vaccine flip-flopper. If the political winds blew against the vaccines and his MAGA crowd was there, he went with that. And when the winds blew to say that the vaccines were good and they're worth fighting for and getting behind, trying to get people to get vaccinated, he did that too. But that was after his ass got hit with it along with his wife. He hurried up and got his ass shot up then with those vaccines. See, but when all the noise against the vaccines was going, he thought that was a tailwind for him. He was right there with him. And you know what? A political gymnast. Y'all weren't listening. After January 6th, this man put the whole country in danger by sicking those mobsters, those cretins, climbing the damn walls like a bunch of monkeys, ransacking the damn Capitol. Our Capitol now. Capitol, he's inciting this shit. Didn't matter. Y'all wasn't listening. Then he's going to steal classified documents. I can just about guarantee you that Putin got all the evidence he needs to blackmail Trump's ass and keep him in check. And if you don't believe me on that tip, anybody seen Trump making any issues or bitching about those nude photos about his wife from Russia? Anybody? I ain't heard peep from him. Now, they claim that he's talked to Vladimir all the time. I wonder if that conversation came up. He don't seem like he's too upset about it because Putin's his handler, and Putin was just sending Trump a message with those nude photos. Like, you know what time it is, and you know you better watch your step. Don't try to get too cute. I got something for you. You better duck it. You ain't gonna hear no beef out of Trump about those photos. He's already in bed, been in bed with Putin from the get-go. All the things he's done to undermine our country and just turn us out. American people said on November the 5th, It don't matter. We don't give a fuck what he does because we trust him. A natural born documented liar. Nobody even comes close. But America, at least that half of it, believed him. He gonna do something better this time. Like what? Man, they got no policies. All he's gonna do is go to rallies, golf, and spend his time bitching about stuff. And he's great. He's a lucky motherfucker, boy. He's lucky. This is the second time, and he's gonna get an opportunity to ride the winds of a stable economy that was handed over to his ass. And if the economy gets even better, guess who's gonna take credit for it? See, Obama jumped into the United States presidency with a crisis on his hands. Everybody remembers 2008. And you had motherfuckers running around, wringing their hands, diving off buildings, committing suicide. Wall Street was a shambles. I'm sure the suicide rate shot up. The housing crisis and all this stuff. Obama cleaned up another Republicans' mess that Bush left. But see, he showed leadership. He didn't run from it. He handled it. You fast forward to Trump in his first administration, well, COVID was a fucking disaster. And this clown knew about it from those presidential daily briefings he received. What did he do for America? He held all the information and didn't allow the American public to know about what was really going to hit us. He already knew about it. And if you think I'm bullshitting, ask Bob Woodward, the journalist. Why did he tell Bob Woodward that he wanted to keep America from knowing about it? He didn't want us to panic, so he didn't let us know. He's the only one that panicked. That's why he kept trying to downplay it. And he said, yeah, I downplayed it. I'd do it again too. Because he didn't want us to worry and panic. But he was running around telling us bullshit about, it's going to go away. It's going to be like the cold. It's going to be like the flu. Every week, same old thing. Don't worry about it. It's going to go away. Go away. And America just kept on giving him a free pass. Why? Because he's incompetent. And he didn't know what the hell to do. He was petrified. So, after his ass left office, Joe Biden had to pick up the remnants of COVID. And he dealt with it because he has competency. Even on his worst mental days, he can outgovern Trump on Trump's best days. But America just hasn't learned his lesson, I guess. So here we are. We're going to see if he's found some newfound skills on how to govern. Most of the time, people are known by their past behaviors. But you got so many people who just insist or feel that, they're going to change Trump or Trump's going to change himself. Ain't going to happen. Because he's even in a worse state of mind right now because he not only has to deal with doing something he doesn't know how to do. He proved that already once. Now he got all these other things swirling around him. And he's already started off on the bad foot by making bad decisions, by nominating a bunch of people who ain't got no business near the position he's nominating them for. Maybe a couple I might give a pass. But the majority of them, hell no. Okay, let's start with Pete Heck said from Fox News. Come on now. We really don't need to go any further than that. As defense secretary. Does anybody know what defense secretary really entails? I know damn well he doesn't know. Trump don't know either. So I'm going to move on from him. You know where I'm going next. Mr. Gates. Attorney General? Trump want him to be the Attorney General so he can go after people even more so than Bill Barr did. And Bill Barr, he's going to be tame compared to what Gates will be trying to do for Trump. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, he might get through because he's just a Trump bootlicker. But, I mean, he's a senator. He ain't got no spine, but he might pass as Secretary of State, but he probably don't know what the hell to do with that position. He ain't no damn diplomat. Anyway, Kristi Noem, the puppy killer. Really? Homeland Security? Come on, y'all. Elise Stefanik, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. Yeah, she's eminently qualified for that position as well. John Radcliffe, CIA Director. Come on. You got him, Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence. Both of those are security risks. Radcliffe and Gabbard, they're security risks. But, you know, he didn't put a whole bunch of people in line that are gonna kiss his ass and do what they're told. I know this already because Mr. Troy Nehls, that congressman from Texas, he's already told the Republicans what is expected of them. This is your marching orders. And he said in front of a bunch of reporters a few days ago, if President Trump tells you to jump 3 feet in the air and then scratch your head at the same time, you do it. End of discussion. That's your marching orders, Republicans. Y'all bow down and pledge fealty not to the Constitution, not to an oath you take when you put your crooked ass hands on a Bible and lie and say you're going to defend the Constitution in this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. It's a damn lie. Your job and your mission, if you decide to take it, like Mission Impossible, is to defend the Fuhrer, which is Donald J. Trump. And the J stands for jackass. Y'all job is to defend him, and anything he says, whether it's good or bad or makes sense or not, fuck all that. You're supposed to just go ahead and adhere to the policy. That's the mandate, Republicans. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know what time it is. I ain't really got to tell y'all. I'm just talking to people out there that have got 2 brain cells left. Recognize this individual, Trump, is going to be doing nothing but fucking up again. He's going to pick up where he left off the last time. And he's going to get more lackeys and flunkies in just to do his bidding. I mean, it's not even a well-kept secret. They think all of a sudden Trump's going to turn into FDR. One campaign promise he's going to make, or keep rather, is getting rid of these damn immigrants. That's probably number 2 on his agenda. First thing, though, is to make sure he gets all the shit against him wiped out. Then after that, it's getting rid of those immigrants and then find another way to scam money out of the country. Off this piggy bank called the United States government. He gonna do it. He's done it before. He's gonna do it again. That's a damn shame. Yeah, America has let the damn bank robber come back to the bank and has appointed him as the president of the bank. And knowing he already robbed the bank a couple times, y'all just let him right back in and gave him position. Hell, you familiar with the bank, so you might as well work here. We're gonna put you at the top because you know all about the inner works of this bank here. And then Trump doffs his cap, said, "Thank you, appreciate it." Now I'm firing all you motherfuckers in here. Everybody got to go. I got to bring my people in because they know what to do. And just like in 2016, look how many people left his cabinet. Some of them left involuntarily, had to, assume the position. You know the drill. Some of them got indicted. So it was just a big mess. I don't see too much else that's going to be different than this next crew that's going to come in. Because when they find out that he is a imbecile and their reputation, if they had one, going to get sullied, going to get dirty, because they are following an idiot, which makes them kind of stupid too. I'm saying this now. People go, "Oh, Ron, you just making a whole bunch of something out of nothing. All that stuff you talking about, you don't know what's going to happen." Okay, and you might be right. I'm willing to bet on it. I've seen this coyote perform before. So, America, it's going to get ugly. Now, last but not least, I had some other things I was going to talk about, but I had to get this all off my chest because I still have faith in this country. I don't know why, but but I do, because I think we still got some guardrails in place that's going to prevent this deranged maniac to not just totally just dismantle our government completely. And most of us know why he's in office, and he's not going to do much in there except screw it up. But we got to deal with the pain and the disappointment of watching this unfold. They had to deal with it on the right side for 4 years. Now it's our turn again. So we just gotta watch and wait. But I think better days are ahead, of course. If we survive, if we make it through, we'll be all right. We just gotta keep our heads up. I saw some things that I'll probably talk about in my next video, but wanted to let everybody know I'm still here. I'm still gonna bring it. It's just one of those times when I've been away for a few days. I just had to get a few things off my chest and reassess some things and move on from there. But suffice to say, I've seen this scoundrel. Y'all seen the scoundrel. We all know what he's about, and we will deal with him accordingly. He thinks it's going to be easy. He thinks he's going to just come in and just bum rush the whole country again and ramrod all of his policies and plans through. It ain't going to be that easy, partner. So, Mr. Trump, you just get yourself ready as well for a fight, because we ain't going to just roll over and just lay down for you and your Gestapo boot buddies. They gonna come in like they part of the Nazi SS squads. We ain't going for that. This is America, and some of us still believe in freedom and democracy, even though we know you don't. So, as far as I'm concerned, Trump, fuck you. I'm out.